I don't advocate it. Obviously, there's a problem with it because there's so many people that could justify their horrifying acts with that Thomas Jefferson quote.
Well, right, and generally speaking, these days, the people who do exercise that option are crazy.
Because we've been beaten into being submissive. The idea of raising a hand to the man is just you're a complete whack job.
But see, the mistake that's made, though, I think by most people, is that they assume because we have an allegedly democratically elected government that it can't be oppressive, that it must be fine. It's not what TJ was talking about. But what TJ was saying is, oh, yeah, absolutely. This form of government can become oppressive. In fact, it's guaranteed to become oppressive. There's Mike in Paradise. Hey, Mike, how are you?
Doing wonderful.
Welcome. Go ahead.
Hey, I was just thinking, this reminded me back when the Oklahoma bombing stuff took place. And I was all fired up and ticked off at the government, too, because, the Ruby Ridge stuff and the Waco bombing. I'm thinking, and then you find out the guy who blew up and killed all those kids, it turns out to have the same political opinions of yourself, and you almost feel guilty about it.
Right.
Right. I mean, you want to be ticked off as well and go, yeah, right on, and then, whoa, you cross the line, man. I mean.
Well, right. And see, Tim McVeigh and his buddies were a-holes and idiots. TJ didn't say from time to time we must water the tree of liberty with the blood of kids in daycare centers. They're just, I mean, I like it as a theoretical argument, just speaking for myself, which I hope will motivate peaceful, strong, peaceful political maneuvering. But,
right. I heard another great quote the other day that was, we're so far gone that we can no longer work within the system to correct our wrongs, but it's still too early to start killing the sons of guns,
Yeah, I don't know.
So, I mean, I agree with I love the Thomas Jefferson quote, but, yeah, how do you bring about change in this, in the modern era?
Well, there has been, Mike, the answer to that question is pretty clear. There has been massive political change in this country, whether in civil rights or whatever, protesting various wars, etc., through massive peaceful participation.
No, a lot of the civil rights was also combined with scariness.
Yeah, that's true.
You had both sides. You had Martin Luther King and you had Malcolm X.
Good cop, bad cop, as it were. Yeah, but you can cause serious change through peaceful demonstration.
Certainly.
But people
and legislation.
People don't know enough and care enough to get involved now. That's the discouraging part to me. But.
Yeah, well, I agree with you there. Unfortunately, America's full of a bunch of self-righteous, ignorant. I can't say what I want to say in the rest of that, but
I wish you could. But we know what you're talking about, and they're all covered with wool. Thanks, Mike. We're out of time, but
certainly could
more calls. Hang on.
Certainly could get anything done if you get enough people motivated to go to the ballot box and vote a certain way, vote for a certain candidate, vote for or against a certain prop. Mm-hmm. You can get anything accomplished.
I mean, all the people showing up here, there, and everywhere for the Tea Parties has moved the conversation in the Republican Party, for instance, the despicable, hypocritical, useless Republican Party. Who's trying to
co-opt the Tea Party
and then ignore it? Exactly.
More of your calls next. 1-866-331-TALK.
The man with an apparent grudge against the government who plunged his small plane into IRS offices.
You know what, Marshall? I don't think it's an apparent grudge. I think it's a grudge.
All right, the man with the grudge who plunged his plane into IRS offices in Austin, Texas yesterday, Joseph Stack, had lived in Lincoln, California, in Placer County for a number of years.
Bass player, too.
Yeah. Had a band.
Yep, I saw pictures of him playing his bass on the internet.
Sacramento Bee talked with mechanic Dave Page, who had actually worked on Stack's plane for 4 years from about 1988 to 2002. 1998 to 2002. Says he used to keep the plane at the local airport, flew almost daily to the Bay Area on business. Page calling him a cheerful guy who didn't mind spending money on his plane. Stack had a couple of companies in California. Both got suspended for not filing taxes. In the manifesto he left behind, Stack wrote, he had come to the conclusion that violence not only is the answer, it is the only answer.
Wow. Did you read the very end of his manifesto?
I'm not sure. What does it say?
And first of all, the very end of his manifesto is he puts Joe Stack, 1956 to 2010, as he was announcing that he is going to be dying now.
Yes, wow.
He ends with the Communist Creed, from each according to his ability to each according to his need. The Capitalist Creed, from each according to his gullibility to each according to his greed.
Wow.
It's pretty good.
That is pretty good.